COVID-19 continues to spread rapidly around the world. Almost every country has reported cases, but the burden is asymmetrically distributed. In the past 7 days, April 6 to 12, 46% of new confirmed cases have been reported in Europe and 39% in the United States. To an extent, that's because countries are at different stages of the pandemic. Some that were effective at initial containment, such as Singapore and Hong Kong, have seen resurgence and are implementing additional measures to address it. Others, such as many countries in Western Europe, have seen the number of new cases plateau or begin to decline and are debating the right approach to reopening their economies. Some countries appear to be at the peak of infection and are urgently building surge capacity in their health assistance. In other parts of the world, the number of cases is rising rapidly. Countries such as Russia and Turkey are seeing a recent acceleration. India too has experienced a significant increase in the number of cases since the beginning of April and has evolved its response strategy, including extending nationwide lockdown. Measures including physical distancing, travel restrictions, effective use of personal protective equipment, testing and tracing, and healthcare surge capacity require more or less emphasis depending on epidemic phase and local context. Local use of these measures varies considerably. Physical distancing may be near impossible in crowded urban settings. For example, and the apps and digital tools for contact tracing like those used in China may not be acceptable in other parts of the world. Another challenge is the dependencies among the measures. To take one example, the timeliness and stringency of physical distancing measures substantially influences how other tools should be deployed. Although a consensus has emerged around the use of physical distancing to slow transmission in many high-prevalence settings, a few countries such as Sweden are pursuing an alternative herd immunity strategy focused on protecting the most vulnerable populations while using only limited distancing measures to flatten the curve for others. The goals are to maintain many aspects of economic and social life today and over time, to develop a large enough pool of exposed people, about 70 to 80%, to protect the herd. Other countries are closely watching the outcome of this approach. The months ahead will probably be quite volatile and dynamic. It now appears likely that some places will experience a local resurgence as restrictions are lifted and economies reopen. It will influence countries at the earliest stage. For example, Singapore has seen a resurgence mainly from imported cases, which have led to local transmission. This suggests that restrictions on international travel may continue. As China gradually reopens, the tactics it used, including group-based isolation models and setting a norm of wearing masks in the workplace, and their efficacy will inform protests around the world. Western Europe's experience in relaxing restrictions and the most successful approaches there will inform the approaches deployed in the United States.